Hi everyone, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Wednesday, the 23rd of January 2019. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm using the Tarot Familiars deck today, and this is a really fun deck, Lisa Parker. They've also put all of these images on mugs, so I have all of these images. I've got loads of mugs. This one is my favorite, the grumpy cat kind of doing the tarot spread there. So I'm very familiar with these images. I don't know how I got the actual deck. I can't remember, but let's have a look at what the familiars want to tell you today. And as always, I tune into the energy while I'm shuffling, and I just ask the cards, what do we need to know for Wednesday, the 23rd of January? So it's for all signs of the zodiac, everyone who watches. If you like these videos, please share them. If you're active on Twitter, follow me. It's at Talk to Gregory. And let's have a look at what's coming up. We've got the Knight of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. Wow. And swords apparently are associated with ravens. Ravens are, I would associate swords with owls, really. Wisdom and knowledge. Ravens are kind of scavengers to me, and they seem kind of negative, although they're associated with magic and they can speak and they're incredibly clever. So the Knight of Swords here, first of all, means that you don't know whether to rush into a situation or whether you should hold back. The Knight of Swords is someone who doesn't really know what to do with the information that he's got. So often he's misinformed and he bulldozes his way into a situation and makes a fool of himself because what he's reacting to or the information that he's got is totally outdated, or he's done the incorrect research. Like, for instance, you show up at a family party and you look at the letters that have been written from you know your aunties or your grandparents or things like that, and someone seems really negative, and you show up at this family gathering and you really confront someone and you treat them very badly, and it really wasn't about them, and you find out that the situation was something totally different, and really that it was none of your business. So you can potentially upset someone, you can put them in a completely different light than they're actually meant to be in, and you can open your mouth when you're really not meant to. So, caution. Take care of what you say, of what you rush into, of what you're so certain of, and really mull it over a little bit. We've also got two ravens here, which is nice, because rather than just one Knight of Swords, one Knight of Swords is dangerous enough, okay? Like a clown by himself with no idea what he's doing, just flying around and stirring the pot everywhere he goes. But we've got two here, so at least they can talk to each other and they can talk each other off the ledge a little bit and say, okay, let's cool it, you know? We both don't know what's going on. Let's try and find out. Next, we have the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is someone who masters the physical realm, who's rich, who's abundant, who's prosperous. We've got these beautiful wolves here during a full moon. They have nothing to be afraid of. They rule the earth. They rule this environment. They're the top of the food chain in this forest that they live in. They have water. They have ice. They have comfy little beds back in the forest that they can rest in, and they've got the pack, so they've got a sense of community. They've got a beautiful environment to live in that they really feel comfortable in. They're able to thrive, and also wolves kind of howl at the moon, don't they? So that's a response to something magical and something that's really rare and that kind of inspires them and that fills them with light and energy and power. So yes, they live in this forest, but they come out at night when there's a full moon. They see things clearly. They see things as clearly as they possibly can, and they're able to look at their circumstances and make them even richer. So first of all, we have no knowledge, and we have clear vision by looking at what is actually going on and doing your research and finding out what is happening in a practical, physical sense. So ask the questions, talk to people, do the research, look at the newspapers, find out what's happening. Don't just go on hearsay, what you overheard, what you think you heard. Make sure that there's evidence to support your claim if you're going out to attack someone, and that you have, physical, practical evidence that really supports what you're doing. Finally, we have the King of Swords. The King of Swords is someone who embodies both of these things and combines them. So the spiritual and the abstract thinking, this knowledge that I know everything and I had a dream, so it must be right. It intersects with this cross, which represents the physical world, Pentacles, and the intersection creates an eye, and there's this beautiful black gem there, and that's the source of truth. That's something that you can rely on. That's evidence. And from this, there can be growth, there can be justice, there can be a real sense of, we can rely on this person, on this crow. We can rely on the judgments that are being made here, because they're not just biased. This isn't corrupt. This is someone who has looked at the facts and has received information, but doesn't judge it in a personal way. It's almost like the King of Swords is a judge, and he's not personally involved in the crimes. He looks at it from an objective point of view, and he makes a decision in terms of, well, you didn't pay the taxes, you're going to jail, that's the end of it. So it's very kind of cut and dry. It's unemotional. And if you look at the wolves, they're staring at us very directly. So are these crows. It's confrontational today, isn't it? Ideas may be confrontational and harsh. The reality of life may confront us in a difficult and harsh way. And it's up to us to connect with spirit and to really look at the reality of the situation and see what decision we're going to make, and rely on the messages you get from your higher power. That's always the most reliable. Your higher power is a force that loves you unconditionally, that guides you, that fills you with energy and recharges your batteries, and that's not going to misinform you. But like reading the tarot, like reading a divination system or trying to analyze symbols, you can get it wrong. So it's important that you take that information and you match it up with physical evidence, and that if you are making a decision today, that it's based on what is going on. So let's say you decide you have a dream, or you have the guidance that you ought to buy this house. But then you look at the housing market and it's saying now is not a good time to buy because we don't know what's happening politically. So maybe hold back on that. And the Knight of Swords is unable to hold back, impulsive. I've got to have it now. I've got to do what I've got to do immediately. Otherwise I'm going to miss out. Major case of FOMO here, fear of missing out. And that's the epitome of the ego. Whenever you get ego guidance, it's urgent. It makes you feel like I've got to do it now. And if I don't take action now, I'm really going to miss my chance. And when you take action from that kind of fear-based place, you usually create more fear. So it's really good that you're able to tap into the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords. They together are able to make a decision based on facts and information and thoughts. And they can also delay information and can say this is not the right time. So today is a day of evaluation, looking at what's going on, looking at what's real, and popping your little bubble of living in a fantasy land and judging people for reasons that really have no merit, and making decisions that do have merit, and being grown up and saying, it is what it is. My feelings around this don't really matter. I've got a situation here in life that I've got to deal with. Let's deal with it as best we can. So by looking at the information, by doing our research, and by being consistent and honoring that information and implementing it in the real world. These are all court cards, so they count as one. So this is 3. 3 is about communication, it's about new beginnings, and it's about the way you think. So you're in a perfect position to really here evaluate your circumstances with these 2 kings. This is kind of Virgo. You're able to analyze the physical circumstances. And then you've got Gemini here as well, which is about communicating what you've discovered through your research. So it's a very mercurial day, and Mercury moves quickly. So don't rush in. Fools rush in, remember. Do your research and make decisions. And when you get to making a decision today, if it doesn't feel calm, and if it doesn't feel good, and if you feel uneasy about it, delay it. It's much better to delay it than to rush into something and make a mess of things that you then have to undo. It's better to hold back and just say, we don't know yet, we're not ready yet. So I hope you have a fabulous day. If you would like a private reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to audio reading. If you like my videos, please share them and hit the subscribe button. And in my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. The astrology chart gives me a blueprint of who you are, shows me what your life purpose is, what your vocational talents are, what's destined for you in money and career, love, romance, family, children, travel, location, friendships, hopes and dreams being realized, fame and fortune, spiritual progress. I can answer any questions you may have. So if you are interested in that, do order your reading on the website, gregoryscott.com. Have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.